Here's what you're not hearing. Trump's big, beautiful bill gives a 1% tax on all remittances abroad. So every time you send a Western Union, a MoneyGram, whatever it is, a remittance abroad, the U.S. government's now going to take a 1% cut of that.
But why isn't every African country like Chad? Why doesn't every African country behave like Chad? Donald Trump banned Chad from going to the USA. They also banned the people of the USA from going to Chad.
Math. So look at the wealth redistribution that has happened in the United States since 1989. In 1989, the top 1% had 22% of the wealth. Today, they have over 30%. And meanwhile,
good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whichever part of the world that you are watching me live from. My name is Isaac Wabomba, and this is Africanization Data, where we keep you updated when it comes to matters that concern Africa in general. And today I'm here and I want to urge, as I've always told you, Africa needs to wake up, Africa needs to stand up, Africa needs to run on its own feet, because as how things are going, it simply tells us that we need to wake up and do what is rightful and what will make Africa to stand.
Starting tomorrow, June 20th, no immigrant will be able to send money to their countries of origin. If you do not have legal immigration status, you can't send a single dollar home. This isn't a warning, it's happening. Now the Remittance Control Act kicks in tomorrow morning, blocking all money transfers without valid U.S. documentation. Trump declared during his announcement, illegal immigrants have been draining $150 billion annually from our economy. That ends tomorrow. The numbers are staggering. 42 million immigrants send money overseas, supporting 800 million family members globally. Western Union, MoneyGram, Zelle, all blocked without a real ID or valid social security number. You're cut off completely. Banks must verify legal status before any transfer violators face $10,000 fines per transaction money. Transfer businesses risk losing their licenses. Families in Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador are about to lose their only lifeline. Even supporters are calling this extreme. This isn't just policy, it's personal.
Like all the migrants that do not have legal documentation, they will not be able to send out money to their relatives across or rather to Africa or to other countries. So now, that means for those of us who went to the US and we do not have the legal documentation that facilitates the process for us to send funds to our African brothers, sisters, mother, or parents, it's going to be difficult. You will be having money in your pocket, but you will not be able to send it out because reason being you do not have the legal documentation. So I don't know how some of us are going to survive.
we're fucked. There's really no other way to say it. The one big bucket of bullshit bill has passed the House today, Thursday, July 3rd, and President Trump gets his wish. He's going to be able to sign this devastating piece of legislation by July 4th. And if you disagree with me because you don't like my politics, you really need to rethink things. When we look over time at the impact of legislation like this, the bottom 95% of Americans continue to be harmed, while the top 5% continue to benefit. So you and me, if you're watching this video, whether we voted for the same person or not, we are in the same boat. And you keep punching holes in that boat because you want to protect billionaires. This ain't about emotions. This ain't about me being a crazy woman. This is about math. So look at the wealth redistribution that has happened in the United States since 1989. In 1989, the top 1% had 22% of the wealth. Today, they have over 30%, and meanwhile, the bottom 50%, their wealth has declined. These kind of tax policies is wealth redistribution from the bottom to the top. The Bush tax cuts in 2003, our revenue to GDP ratio has dropped significantly, and that has a huge impact on whether or not the United States can pay for essential things like Social Security and health coverage. 2017 tax cuts, the corporate tax cut that President Trump promised was going to raise everyone's annual household income, surprise, surprise, It did not. Regular working Americans saw zero increase in their net household income since 2017, but salaries of executives soared. They got huge raises as a result of these corporate tax cuts. Regular working Americans got nothing because trickle-down economics doesn't work, y'all. This bill will be devastating for 95% of us for decades to come. And everybody has to keep in mind that the real consequences, the real negative impacts of this kind of legislation, it takes years for us to really feel it. And Republicans are counting on you having a really short memory. Don't forget what they just did to you. And they just voted to take away health, food, and education assistance, among a bunch of other things, away from 95% of us so they could give the top 5% more money.
Buried inside Trump's great big beautiful bill is a brand new tax for you sending money to your family and friends abroad. Here's what you're not hearing. Trump's big beautiful bill gives a 1% tax on all remittances abroad. So every time you send a Western Union, a MoneyGram, whatever it is, a remittance abroad, the U.S. government's now going to take a 1% cut of that. They're already taxing you on your paycheck, and now they're going to doubly tax you for sending money home to help mom, dad, grandma, your kids. The 1% is going to add up.
You remember some time back, President Donald Trump had requested if you really know you are staying in America and you do not have the legal documentation, surrender, and the government of the United States will facilitate your travel back to Africa. This is if you do that willingly without being forced. And most of the immigrants, those who do not have the legal documentation, were hiding, and that's what happened, Yeah, and for a few who are able to surrender that, they did, and they went back to Africa. And now he has come with another bill whereby you will not be able to send out money if you do not have a legal documentation. In addition to that, President Donald Trump, what he has just done is what? Guess what? You will be charged 1% more from every transaction that you do, be it on MoneyGram, be it on Western Union. Anytime you do remittance, like you are remitting funds from US to your people, perhaps that is in Africa or whichever part, you will be charged 1%. Like Trump will be earning 1% from that remittance. It simply tells you that you guys, you need to come up with a strategy of how to save your own, on how to solve your own problems. Why? Out of the billions of money that have been sent out from the United States, Trump says that these funds are the ones that are supposed to be there to run the economy. The investors, the people that they need to invest in the economy of the US. But it seems guys are sending out money. So out of the billions of USD that is being sent out, you know what? It has been like how the mathematics itself is showing. Half of it is being remitted into a country called Kenya. So yeah, that means Kenyans are working hard in the US and they are remitting funds to their people in their country in Kenya. Yeah, be it their parent or something. But now they have introduced this 1% tax, on of which every transaction you do, you will be charged 1% of the amount that you're sending out. If you're sending out $1 million, Bob, 1% of it will be channeled to the government of US. And this, remember, this will only be done if you have legal documentation.
Starting tomorrow, June 20th, no immigrant will be able to send money to their countries of origin. If you do not have legal immigration status, you can't send a single dollar home. This isn't a warning, it's happening. Now the Remittance Control Act kicks in tomorrow morning, blocking all money transfers without valid U.S. documentation. Trump declared during his announcement, illegal immigrants have been draining $150 billion annually from our economy. That ends tomorrow. The numbers are staggering. 42 million immigrants send money overseas, supporting 800 million family members globally. Western Union, MoneyGram, Zelle, all blocked without a real ID or valid social security number. You're cut off completely. Banks must verify legal status before any transfer violators face $10,000 fines per transaction money. Transfer businesses risk losing their licenses. Families in Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador are about to lose their only lifeline. Even supporters are calling this extreme. This isn't just policy, it's personal.
I have seen the reactions. I have watched the reaction on the internet from various parts of Africans. And they're like, "Oh, if Donald Trump has decided to ban the dollar, like whatever he's doing is simply telling the African guys that you guys, I do not need you guys. You have to pack and leave, and you have to do your own things that will help you, but America is no longer going to help you." And now the Africans are asking the question, they're like, if now Trump is doing this, why can't we reciprocate the same? Why can't we do the same? Because the other time you saw Chad, when President Donald Trump banned Chad from traveling to the US, they reciprocated the same, and they banned the US from entering into Chad, because if you there's nothing like, when it comes to Christianity, they say when someone slaps you on the right cheek, you also turn the other one for him to slap. But in this case, the Chad government said, we cannot tolerate this. If you slap us on the right cheek, we will slap you too. Yeah, remember that. And now, what does this tell you? Remember the other time, Donald Trump signed a bill that also cut costs in Africa. Africa countries that had depended on the USAID, they no longer have a say, because these total funds were being facilitated by the US government. And now the African nations were just enjoying these funds. And now the funds have been cut. So now, what does this tell you? I have always reminded you that Africa, you need to partner up. You need to wake up. You need to know what is rightfully yours and go for it. Because in African, there's a saying that says, someone who wants you out of the house, they do not tell you directly. There's a way they act. There's a way they behave. So now Donald Trump is behaving the way he's behaving. What does it tell you? It's telling you that Africa, you need to wake up, you need to unite, you need to come up with your own, perhaps with your own currency. If the United States dollar, he does not want it to come to Africa. So what does it tell you? He's simply telling you guys, can you come together, come up with your own currency and do business? What else? Let's watch this reaction.
But why isn't every African country like Chad? Why doesn't every African country behave like Chad? Donald Trump banned Chad from going to the USA. They also banned the people of the USA from going to Chad. Very simple. I don't know why us as Africans have the mentality that without the USA we cannot survive. Guys, tell me one good thing the people from America have done for Africans. Tell me one good thing they have done for us, or one good thing we have benefited from them. Nothing, guys, nothing. It is very simple. We need to bring Idi Amin policies back into power. Give the countries that he has banned from going to the USA, they should also ban American citizens from going to their countries. Very simple. They should also ban American countries from going to their countries. Literally. Because it doesn't make sense. Like, so he has banned your people from going to his country and his people are still in your country. Why? Why? Let me tell you, the only thing Americans have done for Africa is nothing. Like, guys, if you see Americans in an African country, just know there is either oil, there is gold, there is diamond. Americans have never helped Africans, guys. They have never helped Africans. They have never. Even the people that built their country, these black Americans, what are they doing to them right now? Aren't they the same people they are profiling? Aren't they the same people they are racist to? Aren't they the same people they are doing all these things to? And aren't they the people that built their country? They are the ones. Guys, Donald Trump has banned people from your country from going to their country. Ban their people too. Very simple. I even don't get the concept of why we need visas to go to America, and some countries they don't need visas to go to. Why? If we need visas to go there, they should also need visas to come here. Guys, Africans, we really slack a lot, and it's so annoying. Like, what? He has banned people from your people from his country. Ban his people from your country. Very simple. Be like Chad.
This is the reason why the president of Burkina Faso has always told African nation to wake up and do the exact thing that he is doing for his people. Just the other day, I was just telling you that Burkina Faso, ever since this president took power, they have made more than 18 billion profit. More than 18 billion USD profit from their own resources, from the resources that is available within their border. They have not even done anything across the border. Like right now, what they're doing, they're exporting more. Yet the other years, they were only making 2 billion the whole year. So what does it tell you? Africa, we have everything that it takes for us to be rich, for us to be dependent, to be independent and be dependable, whereby the Western people will have to depend on us. But it's because we have decided to sleep. We have decided to be lazy. We have decided to like we just want someone to think on our behalf. And if we continue that way, I'm telling you, we will always be slaves. If we continue that way, we are going to remain that way, and we will be exploited. We will remain there to be beggars. We are always depending for donations. This is the kind of the kind of abilities that we are looking at the moment. If we don't wake up, if we don't strive for success, that's where we are heading to. So now America has decided to ban on the dollar. So if you're an immigrant, if you do not have the legal documentation, now you're in trouble. What does it tell you again? It simply tells you, leave the country, leave your ways, go back to your motherland, go and invest in your motherland. Banning, like introducing more taxes on money transfer. It simply tells you guys, go and invest in your own land. Do not steal our resources. I don't know. That's what I can tell you for today. My name is Isaac Wabomba. I need to get your reaction in the comment section. Let's talk, let's engage, let's know what you think about this move by President Donald Trump. My name is Isaac Wabomba. See you in the comment section. And for now, bye-bye.